Features and implications of peace treaties, Versailles, Trianon on Ulysses, Saint Germain, and Severus. Woodrow Wilson lists 14 points during World War One. Lenin believed that establishing a Bolshevik government was important, so Russia wouldn't be involved in World War One because it was impacting the economy and the lower classes. Wilson wanted Russia to stay in the war and for Germany to seek a peace settlement. The Bolshevik government signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Germany. Russia lost Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Georgia, and Finland. This meant that Germany was out the war and Germany gained a lot of land and resources. This allowed Germany to launch an attack. Allies fought back and won the war. William II was exiled and then abdicated, and Germany became a republic following the 14 points. The Paris Peace Conference was made including 30 of the victorious nations that would help create a settlement to end the war. Revolutions started happening in Austria-Hungary, Russia, and Turkey. The Bolsheviks were in revolution against the other revolutionaries, and Britain and France supported the anti-Bolshevik groups. The decisions in the conference were made by the big three of France, Britain, and the USA. They had disagreements on how to treat Germany in the post-war. Clemens wanted to destroy Germany economically and militarily. He wanted to get revenge after the destruction they put in the war and the Franco-Prussian War. He didn't want France to be threatened by Germany again and wanted support from Britain and America if Germany was ever attacked again. Lloyd George wanted a less harsh punishment because Germany was an important trading partner. He wanted them to recover quickly. The people, however, were anti-German, so Britain decided they had to punish them, but at the same time, let them recover so they could start earning money from overseas trade. Wilson wanted a lenient punishment based on the 14 points. He thought a harsh punishment would lead to revenge and future conflict, but he didn't understand the situation fully, and he was losing control of the government. Germany was not allowed to participate in the conference, but they still had to accept the treaty. They lost 70,000 square kilometers and 7 million people. Uh, they lost territory to France, Belgium, and Denmark, and they lost the Saar, which was administered by the League. The Rhineland was demilitarized. West Prussia went to Poland. The port of Memel went to Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania were also formed as independent states, and Germany lost their African colonies which then became mandates. The territorial losses, no, the country was then split by the Porous Corridor. They lost a major industrial region, and they were forced to return the land that gave them economic benefits. Many Germans also became under foreign rule. Germany was limited to 100,000 troops. The anschluss between Germany and Austria was forbidden, and the war guild clause blamed Germany and its allies for World War One, and they had to pay reparations. The conference also created Yugoslavia, Poland, Austria, and Hungary through different treaties. The Treaty of Saint Germain was directed to Austria, where they lost land to Romania, Poland, and Italy. The treaty newly led to Bulgaria losing territory in Greece, Yugoslavia, and Romania. They had to reduce their army to 20,000, had to pay 400 million in reparations. The Treaty of Sevres led to Turkey losing territory in Greece and Italy. Parts of the Turkish Empire were also mandated to France and Britain. The Treaty of Trianon with Hungary led to Slovakia and Ruthenia becoming part of Czechoslovakia. Hungary also lost Transylvania, Romania, and Croatia and Sweden to Yugoslavia. Reparations. Germany accepted responsibility for them and their allies causing World War One. The War Guild Clause provided legal justification for expecting Germany and its allies to pay reparations. Most of the battles in the war were fought in France, so they suffered the most of all countries and wanted compensation. This caused arguments between the big three because Wilson was against reparations, George wanted low reparations, and Clemenceau wanted high reparations. They decided that most of the reparations will go to Germany and Bulgaria. The reparations commissions met to decide what countries would get certain reparations depending on their situation. Bulgaria had to pay 100 million while Turkey faced limited reparations until they were abandoned. Germany was forced to pay 6.6 billion in reparations and they were in a position where they weren't be able to pay it. British economists argued that the reparations would cause more economic issues such as inflation. Reasons of victors and defeated power. Both countries that won and lost were disappointed by the result of the Paris Peace Conference. France wanted a harsher punishment, so they didn't feel 100% safe, so they focused on dominating French foreign policy. Russia wasn't invited to the conference, and the country didn't want to have any relations with the Bolshevik government. Italy signed the Treaty of London with Britain, which led to them joining the war with the Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. Italy also had a lot of human and financial expenses. They received some land, but they got humiliated and didn't have a say, so their claims for land were denied. Wasn't played a huge role in creating the terms for the settlement, but the public opinion was against it in the U.S. They believed the settlement was too harsh on Germany, and joining the League of Nations would cause future wars. Bulgaria had their size reduced and the economy was damaged. Turkey lost control of the Ottoman Empire. Austria and Hungary were angry because the settlement created new boundaries without regard to people. Germany had great resentment and had objections to the Treaty of Versailles. Germany had to accept whatever terms are given. The terms were based entirely on 14 points. Some justifications for objections include that 100,000 troops is too little to defend the country and maintain law and order. Germany's former colonies in Africa were taken over. Millions of people had to live under foreign rule and had different language and cultures. The war guilt clause caused resentment, and the reparations were so high they would be impossible to pay. However, the terms weren't as harsh as Clemenceau wanted, so they had the possibility of rebuilding and becoming strong enough power to pose a threat. Problems in successor states created by post-war settlements. There were border disputes, economic difficulties, and political instability due to the redrawing of Eastern Europe. Minority groups were living under foreign rule, and all the different groups had conflicting ambitions. Yugoslavia was home to different ethnic groups and religious backgrounds. Because of this, disputes were inevitable, and creating democratic institutions was impossible. King Alexander I banned all political parties and became a dictator. Yugoslavia was involved in territorial disputes, so he created agreements such as the Little Entente with Czechoslovakia, Romania, and France. Then they joined an alliance with Greece, Romania, and Turkey. Yugoslavia was still a weak and vulnerable country, dependent on Western loans. Poland became an independent nation after the war. There's still over 1 million Germans in the country, and there are 14 political parties. This led to many weak and unstable governments. The border disputes also led to conflict with Germany, Czechoslovakia, Lithuania, and Russia. Poland wanted to extend their borders. They did it by entering Ukraine and winning the Battle of Warsaw. The Treaty of Riga was created, which added land to Poland. Czechoslovakia was created as an independent state after the Paris Peace Settlement. It had many different groups, and the German population created a minority group that was being discriminated against. They're still able to maintain a democratic government. They're still, however, able to maintain a democratic government. The country had raw materials and rich land and developed alliances with Yugoslavia, Romania, Italy, and France. Austria was landlocked and most of their productive areas were given to Poland and Czechoslovakia. The country relied on foreign loans and it had a lot of inflation, which created political instability. Austrians believed that the solution was a union with Germany, but it wasn't allowed. Hungary was taken under control and created the Hungarian Soviet Republic. The government created a campaign known as the Red Terror to remove opposition. Hungary tried invading Czechoslovakia, but France intervened. Then they tried invading Romania, but they lost and the government collapsed. An anti-communist government was formed by the military, who also went through the removal of opposition, known as the White Terror. Hungary overall lost two-thirds of their population and land and were also reliant on loans.